US President Donald Trump's proposal to permanently move the entire Palestinian population out of Gaza to deny them a right of return and to claim their territory for the United States has sent shockwaves through the political and media class. But their focus appears to have been on Trump's proposals to seize the territory. The Financial Times describes it as a plan to take over Gaza. For the BBC, it's Trump's Gaza takeover proposal. And The Guardian also takes the key part of Trump's announcement to be his plan to take over the Strip. Now, these are all framings that put that emphasis on who will govern Gaza and who will own it, with little concern for the Palestinians who currently live there and to whom it belongs. And even when the fate of Palestinians is the focus, the wording is a little mealy-mouthed. So for The Independent, Trump merely wants to relocate Palestinians. The Associated Press opts for the genteel word relocate too, and Washington's The Hill goes for the even more euphemistic term resettlement. Now, many of our politicians have been equally vague. On Politics Live, Labour MP Andrew Peaks and Tory MP Gareth Davies both objected to Trump's Gaza proposal, but couldn't say exactly why.
Let's be clear, hostages and Palestinians have been through 14 months of living hell. The only thing we should be talking about is how do we get the rest of the hostages out and Palestinians, ordinary Palestinians, back into Gaza. Question for me, and the British government's been really clear on this, this is the right for Palestinians to go back to their homes and how we get the world community working together to put the money in there to rebuild Gaza. There's no sustainable peace unless we have economic investment in Gaza to rebuild the homes, the schools, the houses, to give stability for Palestinians who have it is their homeland, and we need to get people back there safely.
I don't think it is for one country to dictate terms in this way, but we'll look very carefully at all proposals, and I think it's for this government to engage with the administration, but also to determine what role the UK can play in the reconstruction of Gaza.
We'll look very carefully at all proposals. He's just called, Trump, for the ethnic cleansing of 2 million people. We'll just look at all proposals. Now, all that waffle meant it was up to Novara Media's Ash Sarkar to cut through the crime at the heart of Trump's proposals.
I'm sorry, I was just listening to you both speak, and it's like we've got two of the three monkeys. You've got see no evil, we've got hear no evil. Neither one of you are using the words which are relevant to this proposal, which is what is on the table as ethnic cleansing. When you are talking about the permanent resettlement of an entire ethnic group from the place they call home, that's called ethnic cleansing. And instead it's like, oh, what about the hostages? Oh, what about investment? I'm sorry, it's like Westminster is on the slow train and you're not keeping up with the pace of change.
Although this has come as something of a surprise to most people, I would have thought, since it's a dramatic change of policy.
It's a dramatic change of policy, but I think that the signs have been there for a long time. One is that the position of the Israeli government and the ruling Likud party has been to talk about resettling Gaza, and that's been from early in 2024. Secondly, you've got the ramping up of rhetoric around the annexation of the West Bank and the escalation of violence being perpetrated by the Israeli state with the cooperation of the Palestinian Authority, it must be said.
So what would Keir Starmer, what would you expect the British Prime Minister to do or say at this point?
So the first thing is that we need a total arms embargo on Israel. While we supply a small portion of the weapons that are used by Israel, I think it sends an important signal. Two, I think we need to commit to holding Netanyahu and his government to account for the war crimes that they have perpetuated. And thirdly, I think that one of the things that needs to happen is you need to look at things like boycotts, divestment and sanctions.
All right, well,
when you've got a government which is planning on committing ethnic cleansing, you need to punish them.
Now, everything Ash said there was so moderate, right? So reasonable. If that was a conversation about Russia and Ukraine, everyone on the panel would have said what Ash said. And if there was any of them that sort of expressed any doubt over that, they would say, you're a Putin apologist. But when it comes to Israel, Palestine, right? The idea, when someone proposes ethnic cleansing, you say, oh, we'll have to look at that proposal. Or if you're the Labour politician, you say, oh, well, we think that the hostages have had a difficult time, the Palestinians have had a difficult time, let's have some investment, let's have a two-state solution that no one wants, right? What Ash was saying there was so moderate, so reasonable, right? And everyone's like, oh, this is a bit extreme, isn't it? What's she talking about? Right? It's only when it comes to Israel-Palestine that kind of incredibly sensible, normal, liberal, right? Nothing that Ash said there was remotely radical. She's saying that if you have a country which is breaching international law in such a clear and brazen way as Israel, first of all, stop sending them arms. Two, boycott and sanction them, right? That's what we did to Russia. When it comes to Israel, for some reason, that's seen as beyond the pale. That's seen as radical. That's seen as something that's what lefties want, right? Well, that's weird. No, that's completely normal, or it should be completely normal.